If you've never been to a Ghanaian funeral, you might imagine a scene of hushed reverence, muted colors, quiet condolences, a solemn farewell. But step into one, and you are immediately enveloped by sound, the rhythmic pulse of drums, the joyous blare of brass bands, laughter mingling with dancing, a vibrant, swelling sea of red and black cloth. Sometimes thousands of people gather, and you might even see a coffin shaped like a fish, a fowl, or even a Coca-Cola bottle. At first glance, it looks less like a mourning and more like a celebration. But lean in closer. Observe. The crying here matters just as profoundly as the music. In Ghana, a funeral is far from a private goodbye. It is, in essence, a profound public test. A test of enduring love, a test of deep respect, a test of whether a family has truly honored their departed loved one in the manner they deserve. And this is precisely why funerals here don't just feel grand, they have to be grand. A Ghanaian funeral transcends a mere social gathering. It is a deeply religious event. It carries significant political weight. And it is, undeniably, an economic undertaking. It marks the final critical passage of a person from the world of the living into the ancestral realm. And every eye is watching, scrutinizing, to ensure that this passage is executed with impeccable correctness. This demands months of meticulous planning, vast canopies, hundreds of chairs, multiple bands, cooking for hundreds, sometimes thousands of guests, custom-designed matching funeral cloth, elaborate printed posters, continuous live music, and drinks that flow as if they will never cease. This isn't simple excess for the sake of enjoyment. This is a profound societal obligation. Now here's where the uncomfortable truth emerges. An average funeral can easily cost more than 10,000 Ghanaian cedis. To put that into perspective, many households in Ghana subsist on far less than that in an entire year. So families often find themselves borrowing. They pool every resource. They depend heavily on donations from mourners just to break even, just to meet the immense expectations. And this creates a quite pervasive fear. Because a small funeral isn't merely neutral, it sends a powerful, often devastating message. If this kind of deep dive into cultural intricacies and societal pressures resonates with you and you find these breakdowns useful, this is precisely the kind of story I strive to keep telling here. Perhaps consider giving this video a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join our community. In many communities, the way you bury your dead directly reflects upon the living. It's an unspoken barometer of your standard. Low attendance at a funeral suggests weak relationships, a lack of social capital. Scant donations imply low regard for the deceased or their family. A dull, unremarkable funeral can be perceived as a profound failure. Thus, funerals, without anyone ever explicitly saying it aloud, become a subtle competition. Who came? How many people graced the occasion? How much was generously contributed? Was there an excess of food and drinks? Because in this context, the sheer size of the crowd becomes irrefutable proof that the deceased truly mattered. And this is the critical juncture where raw emotion seamlessly enters the economy. Joy can be meticulously staged with vibrant music. Abundant food can be purchased. Large crowds can be invited and orchestrated. But genuine grief cannot merely be implied. It must be seen. And if the crying isn't loud enough, not intense enough, not utterly convincing enough, something feels profoundly wrong. Not just emotionally, but socially. Deeply, fundamentally, socially. Which is why in Ghana, tears are not simply felt within. They are expected. They are a public performance, a vital component of the farewell. Once tears become an expectation, they cease to be solely personal. They transform into something that can be measured, judged, compared, and eventually something that can be supplied. That precisely is where part 2 of our story begins. In the next video, we will step into the quite often surprising business of crying itself. You won't want to miss it.